Hi everybody, thank you for joining me again. In this segment I'm going to talk about 4 questions that the Facebook audience members has asked me to address. First one comes from Allie, and she's asked, have you ever not been able to read someone? Allie, that is a really good question, and yes, that has happened to me before. It's always uncomfortable when that happens to me, especially if it's a paid client, because I feel like it's my job to connect either with them or with spirit. But sometimes, yes, it does happen. It happens not only to me, but to other mediums as well. And the reason this happens is because not everybody's energy can get along with each other. Also, if a client is tired, or if I'm tired, I'm not feeling good today, that day, whatever, or if the client is distracted, there's a whole list of reasons why sometimes I can't connect with them or with spirit because of them. So has it ever happened? Yes. Now, my personal rule is that if it happens and you're a paid client, I give you your money back. Period. And then I will set you up with a free session, because I just feel like ethically I owe that to you. You know what I'm saying? My next question comes from Jenny. And Jenny asks, when someone passes as a baby, can they still make contact? Yes, they can. In my previous video, I talked about, I think it was with Tim. I talked about how this little boy is about maybe 2 or 3 years old. He died from drowning in a family pool. He really didn't communicate verbally very much to me. Because at 2 years old, even at 3, your motor skills and your verbal skills are not that developed. So he showed me how he passed, instead of saying, hey, I fell in the family swimming pool and drowned. He connected with me, and he shared his passing with me. So yes, they could still make contact with you. Good question. Thank you. My next one comes from Laura, and she asks, have you ever started to read someone and decided that you just can't do it? Yes. Yes, that's happened. And let me give you a really good example. I was reading this one guy whose energy just felt so negative and so ugly that I felt a thick layer, I'm not kidding you, a thick layer, like I've been flipping burgers all damn day at McDonald's, a thick layer of ickiness. I didn't like him. It just did not connect with me. I sat down, I took his money, and I thought, okay, I'm overthinking it. Let me just see if I can work through this. And about 10 minutes into the session, I was like, nope, can't do it. Can't do it. Even my God, you're like, get him away from you. So I gave him his money back, and I just explained, look, I'm sorry, I can't really connect with you. My mind, it's not working today with you. I'm so sorry. And I sent him on his little way. I sent him to somebody else. I recommended somebody else. So yes, does it happen? Yes, it does. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. The fourth one, and this is a doozy. This comes from Allie, and she has asked, has anything really bad come to light in a reading, and you did not, and you kept it from the client? Really good question. And again, yes. When I talked about that little boy who passed from drowning in a family swimming pool, his dad asked me to come to do a reading. Now, this is where my ethics come in. This is something I teach my students all the time. You have to gauge your client, gauge the sitter. You have to make sure they're in a right emotional state to handle what you have to say. So when I went to this guy's house, I could tell he wasn't in the right mind. He was so overcome with grief and guilt that I knew I had to be really gentle with him. And when he walked me around, I got impressions. That's when his son came to me. And his son was showing me how he passed. Sorry. Now, instead of me telling the father how his son passed, because the whole time his son was giving me the messages, the father was telling me that how he felt guilty, how his wife had left him because she said he killed their son. That's a pretty heavy statement. There was beer cans all over the place. Oh, sorry, excuse me. There was beer cans all over the place. There was liquor bottles all over the place. The man was in a spiral downhill state of mind. And I knew that he didn't need a psychic medium at that time. He needed intervention. He needed somebody there to hold his hand and tell him it's going to be okay. We're going to get through this together. And I've done this before with clients who are in that state of mind, who do not need a psychic medium. I will be there as a friend. Now, what I did in this particular case was that I called one of his friends. I called a relative to come out and be with him. And he cried and he begged me, he goes, please just bring my son back. Tell me I didn't kill my son. Please tell me I didn't kill my son. Everything the young boy was showing me, his father was asleep. Was it a horrible accident? Yes. But the man was asleep. The door was unlocked. Did he have a role in it? You know what? As a parent, I'm not even going to go there. I'm not. Because shit happens, unfortunately. But yes, that was a horrible event. That was a tragic situation. I wasn't about to push him over the edge by saying, your son is showing me this. That he saw you laying on the couch sleeping. And then he walked out to the swimming pool. I was not going to say that to him. That would have been the last thing he needed to hear. So I didn't tell him. What I got was that I got one of his friends, relatives there, and I gave him a hug, and I told him to please contact me at a later date. But I did not read him. I believe thoroughly that not everything needs to be shared with everybody. Some things need to be shared, yes. I'm not going to lie to you about that. But in certain circumstances, I think it dictates that I use discretion. And that's what I did. That's just how I am about it. I'm sorry. So those are really, really super good questions here. Thank you, guys. Again, keep the questions rolling in. I will answer them as I can. Wow, y'all really asking some questions. Keep at it. Just keep at it. I'm not going to hold anything back from you. Have a good night. Thank you for joining in. Bye, guys.